welcome. You're listening to Jimmerish FM, and today we're going to try and do a show called Betty and the Beast. This is the Betty and the Beast beta show, because we're just testing it out. The idea is it's kind of like an agony aunt show. People write in, you can write in at jimmerish.fm@gmail.com and ask Betty a question, and we'll have different Bettys every week, hopefully, or we'll have an assortment of Bettys who will answer these questions for you and get to the meat of the issue. Today, our Betty is Bree.
Hi there.
How's it going?
Good, thanks.
What you been up to?
Not much really. On days off at the moment. Just chilling out. Went to court this morning. We've already discussed that.
Yeah, Bree was on our previous show where we were interviewing her because she's an ambulance officer, but today she is a Betty, and she knows everything there is to know about life. So let's just get into it.
Let's go.
You know,
Dive right
when you
in.
do this, people can hear it and see people fiddling.
Okay, sorry.
I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
That was Bree fiddling with keys, if you wonder what that sound was. Betty, that was Betty. So, I put the email address up at jimmerish.fm@gmail.com a couple of months ago, because I figured we'll get started, but then it took 2.5 months for the audio interface to arrive, because they said it would only take 7 days at the most. And I put the email address up, hoping to get some people to write in, and we did get some really random emails come in. So I guess I haven't even edited this. I'm just going to read out some of the questions, and Betty can give her advice. So the first one goes, Dear Betty, my name is Sally. I have this guy that I like, but, well, I don't know if he likes me back. He dated my best friend, and he just used her for sex, but he seems to treat me differently than he did her. She keeps telling me that I should stay away from him, but I can't, because he is so sexy and just so awesome, especially since he's the bass player in our band. Can you help, please?
Oh, it sounds like a bit of a problem. Well,
what's your advice, Betty?
My advice? My concern is that she's thinking about dating the same guy her best friend dated, which I think is generally always a bad idea if you can avoid it at all costs. Friendship is always more important. I mean, if he used her for sex and you're both aware of that as a fact, then, you know, that might have just been the situation they were in at the time, and he might be different with her. Maybe he just wants to be friends. I don't know. I would probably, end of the day advice, just say stay away, because you're going to hurt your best friend, and it doesn't sound like it's a risk worth taking.
But you don't think like bass players in bands are sexy?
Bass players in bands, I can understand the attraction, but they also have a tendency to act like assholes like that. They think they have this self-righteousness which gives them some sense of entitlement, I guess. So while he's sexy, maybe that's why his friend just had casual sex with him, her friend. I don't know, Sally, up to you, I guess, but just remember that your friends will always be there for you, and guys come and go, so.
Sounds like some good advice. I really wonder what these people think I wonder if they ever actually listen to the show and
take the advice and just go.
I got some really loud airplane coming there, so
just that. That's actually like really cool side effects.
Yeah.
That does sound a bit close, doesn't it?
We did it in stereo so you can hear it go across the...
Yeah.
This one comes in from Precious One.
Oh, maybe
that's what they're calling
tag
themselves.
Okay.
Dear Betty, I am a high school student. I think it's a long one, actually.
Is it a male or a female? Do we know?
I don't know. I haven't written it out. I'll just read it out.
Okay.
I'll see it. Sorry, I haven't planned this at all. I'm just... Dear Betty, I am a high school student. I am 16 and my boyfriend is also 16. I've been with him since October 23rd, 2008. It's been about 6 months. it's a bit longer than 6 months, but I guess when they send in the email, 6 months. I truly do believe I'm in love with him. I also believe he is too. He says it, he shows it, and I fall for it. He can be a jerk, but all guys are. We have been through a lot of arguments to just cuddling. We've been through a lot of arguments to just cuddling. He has cried for me the day we broke up. I saw it myself. The reason I broke up with him was because he was flirting and he already cheated before. He has changed and become a man rather than a boy. He has proven me he can change from being a hoe/player to a committed man.
Is there a question in there?
We have... It's quite long. We have
Okay.
even talked about a future together, life after high school, and the conditions to stay together are none... And the conditions to stay together and none involve having sex. We both have very freaky minds. We also fantasize and share it. I'm a virgin and he isn't. There has been times when we almost had sex, but every time he stops and asks me, "Are you sure you want to do this, I presume?" And I always had said, "No, I'm scared to get pregnant." And he says, "Okay, baby, maybe next time." Lately I've been in the mood, and I told him... they say mood with air quotes. And I told him, and he said, "Remember, our love comes first." Then he said, "Sex is good, but I'm scared that we won't be in love anymore. It'll just be about sex. I don't want you to be addicted. This has happened to me and one of my exes before. Don't get me wrong, I want to so bad, but I don't know." And then we talk about where we want it, the spots we wanted it, and etc. So I now believe I'm ready to have sex with him. So should I have sex?
Precious one. I don't know where to start.
So did we work out if it was a girl or boy?
I think it's a girl.
But it could be a boy. What did she say? I don't know.
It sounds like a girl to me. This is a common female problem when you're about 16.
Yeah.
And I do sympathise with your feeling that you're in love with this guy who warned you that you might get addicted to him, which is his reason for saying it's good that he respects you enough to say and not be pressuring you into it. If you feel ready, then I think you should be very sensible about it and go about it the right way. Obviously, don't be making any lifetime promises yet. You're very young and you have a lot to learn and do and see first and discover yourself as a person. But when it comes down to whether or not you should have sex with him, I think that's only something you will be able to answer. He sounds like he respects you, and legally I guess you're allowed to, so be safe, wear protection, and just keep being open and honest with each other.
But you think she'll get addicted?
I
Or
don't
is he
think-
just talking
I don't think
crap?
she'll get addicted. I think he's probably just trying to talk her into it by negative psychology, or whatever you call it. Homer Simpson's specialty, reverse psychology. Yeah.
It's like, please don't have sex.
Don't have sex with me, it's so good you'll get addicted. Sure.
So that's guys actually do that. I should be like,
I don't think
please
it
don't have
works.
sex with me. Please
Yeah.
don't. And
No,
then
you
they-
shouldn't have sex with me, it's just too good.
Wow, I'm gonna have to try that out. This
Yeah,
guy's
good
awesome.
luck, precious one. It's a hard time of your life, and it'll be fun before you know it, but the decisions are difficult sometimes.
Well, yeah, thanks for Precious One for writing in. Hopefully that, gives you some confidence to make a decision. This next one is from Jane.
Lots
Dear-
of females kind of writing in today.
Yeah, do you want to go to a mail?
No,
I can
that's
skip to a
fine.
mail one. The first four or so girls. Dear Betty, my guy friend at school that I've known since September is weird. At school he stares at me, makes me laugh, texts me occasionally, and sometimes he mentions a teacher I hate that he loves just to make me talk to him. Today I was talking to his cousin, who is my best friend, and he didn't try to talk to me. I think some things wrong, but I think he doesn't want to talk to me. He has been distant from me, and he used to like me, and I liked him. How can I make him notice me again? And then goes on, me and him have noticed that we have a lot in common, and I thought it was bonding us, but now I feel our friendship is no longer together. Sure, he says we're friends, but he doesn't act much like it. He makes me laugh when he talks about Family Guy and imitates the character Peter. I love when me and him talk about something we really have in common. It's like me and him are close, then we drift apart for a couple of days. How should I take this friendship? Should I pretend to ignore him and act normal and pretend that his strange behaviour isn't bothering me to pieces? He still flirts with me, sending mixed signals, I think.
Sounds tricky. Jane, is it?
Jane, yeah.
Yeah. In this one, Jane, I think you've got a few options. Sounds like he means a lot to you and you've been friends for a while, and it's good to start out as friends. He might be acting strange for a variety of reasons. 1, he's a teenage boy. 2, he might be interested in you and is scared of that transition from friendship to something more and risking the friendship you have. Or maybe he's picking up on some signals that you like him and he's not interested in more than a friendship. And when he senses you get close, maybe he's pulling away a bit. So, hard to know with this one. I think what I would do in this situation is test the water a little. Give out a few stronger signs if that's what you're after, if you want a relationship with him. And see how he responds to that. And if he doesn't respond to that and you're happy just being friends, maybe just go back to being casual friends that, you know, you can laugh and talk about the things that you have in common. Or yeah, I guess the last option is just to talk to him openly and frankly, and hopefully he'll respect you for just saying, I feel a bit confused about where we stand. I really like you. I felt like we had something going on, but now I'm feeling confused. There's nothing wrong with saying how you feel and just asking for some confirmation or
So you've always like just been able to just say it?
Have I always been able to?
Like in that situation, or was it hard to say?
It's hard. It's definitely hard.
Yeah.
But I think the harder thing is to feel like you're in a situation where your feelings are not returned. You guys have a lot in common. You sound like you think it would be a good partnership, so it might be worth that risk.
Yeah. It's always, I find it's always weird with a guy, like, because it's always like that gamble with like a friend, like it's like, you know, maybe I'll meet some random girl and we'll hook up, or like maybe there's like a girl I already know, but then it's kind of weird. Rather, it's easier to hook up with people you don't know. I don't know.
It is, I guess, because you got nothing to lose.
Yeah, yeah.
If you got a friend, then you got a lot to lose, and yeah, it is a massive risk. But I think, I've had good experiences with the relationships which have come from friendships first, and I think it sets you up for a really, really special relationship. And I think if you can make that transition and not end up on the losing end of it, yeah, well then good luck, I guess.
Well, there you go, Jane. Betty has spoken.
I remember high school. It was so tough. I feel for these girls who have to make these tough decisions.
Yeah. So do you want to do a guy next?
Let's see what the guys have got to ask.
Okay, so I don't want to forget anyone, so I'll just we'll go to Peter.
Are these real names? I don't know any of these people.
Well, they're just random people on the internet, because people obviously just Google, like, you know, relationship advice or those things, and this comes up on Google, and then they send in random emails. Like, I've filtered this out a lot. Like, there was a lot of like spam, like, would you like to enlarge your penis, or you need some Viagra,
today, thank you.
Or would you like to go to Nigeria and be part of the royal family's entourage and pay $20,000 to do so, and never know where that money goes. This is from Peter. Dear Betty, I am turning into a slut.
Uh-oh, Peter.
Being in the indie scene, every girl I ever done thinks with is 1 or 2 degrees of separation from each other.
What?
Oh, sorry. Every girl I have ever done things with is 1 or 2 degrees of separation from each other. I'm worried that if this continues, there will be no women in the city who I haven't had ill-advised couplings with, or with friends of. The simple solution would be just to stop, but I enjoy drinking alcohol a lot. Not only in this situation and lack of control depressing, not only is this situation and lack of control depressing, but it also a really effing massive cliche. Can I blame the kind of macho culture that I live in?
Peter, not a lot of sympathy here, sweetie. I think you got yourself in this situation. I would recommend, if you can't slow down your race there to the entire female population, then perhaps you should expand your circles, meet some new people. You're going to end up hurting friends and making things very complicated for yourself. So if you find it a real problem, then maybe it's worth trying to stop, or take the problem elsewhere and involve people who aren't so closely interconnected. But I think you got to help yourself a bit there, Peter. You're the only one causing this problem.
Can he see? But he can't blame the macho culture that he lives in.
Well, I mean, I live in the same culture, Peter. Assuming you come from Perth, and I don't really describe it as a macho.
I doubt they would know that this is from Perth. They're just like, where?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not sure about the culture you live in, but
I'm sure it's Western culture,
I think you're looking for someone to blame, and by describing your culture as macho-ness doesn't necessarily equate to slutting yourself around, and that's pretty much all I have to say on that one.
Well, thanks, Betty, for your answer. Peter, thanks for writing in. I'm glad that people, still made the effort to write in, even though we can't give perfect answers to these questions.
Hey, my answers are as perfect as my own opinion.
Oh yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah,
everyone's right.
There you are.
No one's wrong. So we'll go do another boy. This is from Michael. Dear Betty, I told my best friend I was in love with her, and she said she felt the same, but now she has changed her mind. Despite watching enough films and television to know better, I now I now take offense at everything, and I can't stop hassling her, trying to explain how I feel. It's making her hate me. How can I stop? It's making her hate me.
Michael, I applaud you for taking that first step and telling her how you feel. It sounded great for a little while. She thought she felt the same way, and then she's backed out. I can identify with that, and maybe she found it hard to go from friends to something more and see you in that new light. I think you need to give her space. You need to stop hassling and be the person that she loved as a friend before you can show her all the other sides that you think will make you a good couple. So I guess in the short term, give her a little bit of space and catch up in groups with other friends and gently ease your way in there as a friend, re-establish the friendship, and then take it from there.
Have you ever had that situation you've started to dislike someone because they're always brooding over things, or
men tend to get a little bit, they throw tantrums a little bit, they get a bit sooky and they get a bit clingy, and once a man starts acting that way, they do become particularly unattractive. So I would advise against it at all costs. It's nice for a girl to feel wanted, but yeah, once you start hassling and begging, she's going to be running.
Well, Michael, I think you've got yourself a situation now. I think, you're probably best to just ease off. Although my opinion probably doesn't really count. So we'll go back to a girl. I will just do two more, maybe, just for this one-off thing. We've got two more girls to go through. This is from Veronica. Dear Betty, hi. I am a female in my 20s. I doesn't like to wear undies often. I like to go commando most of the times. Will it be a problem when I get married or started having a relationships? Can anyone have advice for me?
Veronica,
It's probably someone taking the piss, but we should
if
answer
you don't
seriously.
speak English as your first language, then that's all right. But if you do, I think you should concentrate more on your command of the English language. The problem
you can't
with
blame the internet. Is full of poor people.
Yeah,
that don't
possibly.
know how to write or read.
If you're really that poor, then
It doesn't like to wear undies often.
okay, let's just get to the issue. Let's just ignore the fact that the letter was written like that.
I think you'll get a lot of these. A lot of these will be like that. Like,
yeah, all right. So,
I'm trying to filter it out as I read this one.
Okay.
I'm sucking at it, but
all right, Veronica. So,
sometimes
in
it's
answer
fun
to
to
your
read
problem, unless you have a particular medical condition, there's no reason that you can't wear underwear. Underwear is a societal. It's a product of society. It's not necessary. It's probably technically medically healthier not to wear underwear. It might only be a problem if you're wearing dresses or skirts, or we've got young children around. I guess you want to make sure you're being appropriate to the situation.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it should be a problem if you get married.
So do you think if a young kid sees what's up her skirt, he might become a bad kid?
No, I just don't think it's appropriate. And you just need to be aware of what you're doing. I think your attire should be appropriate to the situation, and not wearing underwear sometimes is appropriate and sometimes isn't. And I think once she gets a good idea about that, then she'll be alright. I don't think the husband will have a problem with it.
Have you ever gone commando?
I have. I'm sure we all have
Is
at
that
some
to-
point.
Is that to reduce the panty line problem?
It's definitely a factor sometimes. Other times it's just, you're just more relaxed, like not wearing shoes.
Mm-hmm.
You're just at home and you're
Sometimes I feel like it's like kind of wearing shoes without socks, but I'm a guy and I always wear socks, so maybe girls are used
I
to
don't really
that.
like wearing shoes without socks. Foot odor becomes an issue then.
Mhm.
Not for me specifically, but I just think people who don't wear socks generally
Yeah.
have smelly feet. I used to work in a fitting room at Myers, and
Oh no.
the foot odor smells, Anyway, we're talking about not wearing underwear.
I reckon they could do a lot to improve that kind of stuff.
They do have sprays.
Yeah, I
Just
reckon
not
they need to
enough.
make it more fashionable because people don't buy them because that's a bit weird if people see my foot odor
Yeah.
sprays.
Oh no, I meant the
I
fitting room.
just feel like
have sprays.
technology today, they should make the shoes so they don't get smelly.
Yeah.
Use some micro technology. I don't know.
I think they've got that happening, but it's just not very common or mainstream yet.
So
it's like this lotto motto. Know your limit.
have any
play
guys?
within it.
Has it caused when you've gone commando? Has it ever caused a problem with like any relationships you're having? Like have guys been like that girl?
I don't think not wearing underwear has ever caused me any relationship problems. Generally,
Has it helped relationship?
I think every man is different. Some men
Yeah.
prefer no underwear. Some men prefer nice underwear. Some men don't actually notice the underwear and just after what's underneath. So it's just a personal one. I think she shouldn't have any problems.
All right, as well. Thanks, Veronica, for writing in and letting us know. I feel bad for laughing, because maybe it's really a serious issue. I don't know, but they could be taking the piss.
Yeah, because we're running the show. They're just writing in.
Yeah,
So it's not interactive.
yeah.
They just deal with what we dish out.
But then, what if we get hate mail? Because I already got my first bit of hate mail with Natalie the other day. It was anonymous hate mail saying that I wasn't paying attention to when she was speaking to her, but it was a testing, so I was paying attention to the computer. I'm sorry,
Maybe it was just Natalie writing in, feeling like she wasn't loved enough.
because I was like, and the other thing as well is because Natalie's like, oh, I can't believe you don't know that I have brothers, but I know that, but the audience doesn't, so I have to pretend to be
Oh, I see.
naive,
Right. Well, I don't think you get any hate mail. If you just send it on to me, I'm
Yeah.
tough. I can handle it.
Anyways.
Have we got one more?
We'll do one more.
Yep.
And that'll be it for our Betting the Beast beta episode. We need to do a theme song. I don't know what to do with that.
Betty and
The Beast. This is from Margot. Dear Betty, Well, I am 14 and I have a normal life, but I am starting to get really unhappy. All my mates have boyfriends. I'm not the ugliest girl. Many boys do like me, but I don't have feelings for them. All my mates have had sex and I haven't. I really want to, but I want to find someone sexual. I think they mean special to me. Well, that is a really bad mistake. Sexual. I want to find someone sexual to me that will make me happy. How can I get more boys to like me? Help.
Well, Marco, you sound like you're contradicting yourself a little, and you say that lots of boys like you, that you don't like them. So is the problem that you don't know anyone that you like, or that you're not liked by the people that you like? So I think, first thing I want to pick up on is that you say all your friends are having sex, and you're 14, which disturbs me, because at 14, I don't think you or your friends should be having sex this early. And I definitely wouldn't be making that your concern when thinking about getting a boyfriend. You know, like when you get a boyfriend, it doesn't sound like you've really had one before. There's lots of things to do, and you know, and lots of things to learn about yourself and your boyfriend and a new relationship before you even think about having sex. So I wouldn't rush it, and I think if you're not really into anyone just yet, maybe that's just because of where you're at. Maybe you need to start developing who you are and what you like, and maybe find a different group of friends if that's what they're all doing, and they're not very fun if that's all they're doing all the time. Because if you're the only one without a boyfriend, it can feel like a third wheel sometimes. So
I know that.
I don't know if you like sporting or like other things you can get into. Maybe join a club or something and find a new group of friends. I think just take the pressure off. You're only 14.
Have you ever done that? Have you changed friend groups by joining a club?
No, not really. I mean, when I started my new job, obviously opened up, like I was like almost going back to school again, and I had a new group of friends. And that'll happen throughout, you know, life. And you change jobs or change where you live or something. But no, like I had a pretty good group of friends in high school, and we had a big group. Like we were all sort of friends, so it wasn't really a problem. But yeah, it's definitely an option. Lots of people do it. Start a new sporting group, and you meet someone with similar interests, and you could take it from there. 14, you know, like you've got your whole life ahead of you. I wouldn't be worrying about things like boys and sex just yet.
When do you start worrying about that?
16, 17, maybe. All the parents out there would like me to be saying 18, 19.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 14, I think you've got... What are you in? You're year 9 at 14?
Yeah.
Year 9. You know, join the Royal Stedford. Go and join the choir or something. I don't know what the kids are doing these days.
Yeah, I wish, like... I kind of wish that... if I knew now what I know now, back when I was 14, I probably would have, like, chased women more. I had all these women around me, and I was just wasting... Because I was just like, this is what life is going to be like for the rest of my life. I don't have to worry. Now I sit here in my shed with a podcast studio.
When I was
freaking
14,
out about audio
I
recording.
think shopping, music, and what did I do? Like maybe netball or something. I think that was about it. You know, there's lots of social things going on, but it doesn't have to revolve around boys. Get your girlfriends together and go out and have sleepover parties, dance to Michael Jackson, you know, like all those fun things you can do and without any guilt when you're little.
Yeah. So you don't think you ever worried about that when you're 14 in year 9?
Year 9, I think I probably thought lots of boys were cute, and I was probably stalking a few around the school grounds, but God, I wouldn't have even known what sex, you know, was all about then, you know, like I'm sure I'd heard the word, but I wouldn't have known, you know, it definitely wasn't an option, and it wasn't something I was thinking about. I think I'd kissed a boy by then, probably even with the tongue maybe, but that was a big step, and you know, every party, every weekend was like, who are you going to snog? And yeah, it's just a learning phase, you know, you're slow dancing and you're doing the open mouth tongue kissing, which is horrible. Why do we even go through that stage? But roller skating rings, you know, that sort of thing. Every Friday
Do you like
night.
to go roller skating?
I love roller skating.
And you did that when we were 14, and they
I don't know if I did it when I was
snogged down in the
14,
car
but we
park.
should have. Definitely should have. If I could do it all again.
Now that's what Nelly wants to do for her birthday. I don't know if we talked about it in the podcast, but
No,
she was like, she was asking that same question, like, would people want to go over roller skating?
I definitely want to go roller skating. Introduce me to Natalie. Her and I can go roller skating.
Yeah. You guys, maybe we could do Betty and the Beast next week. You can both come on. We have 2 people.
Yeah, maybe we could debate. You know, she could say, yes, you should be sleeping around at 14. And I'll be like, no.
Yeah. We have, like, play devil's advocate.
I would like to hear from some people, like, with more, like, worldly problems, you know? Like, what about, like, what do you think about the current economic climate or something like that?
Really?
Not that my 2 cents worth would make any difference.
Well, you guys listening at home are hearing it now. If you've got any kind of issue, not just a relationship problem, write into Betty and the Beast.
If you have any medical questions,
jimmerish.fm@gmail.com.
send those in. You gotta have,
do you feel qualified?
I could give a paramedic's point of view. You know what to do at home if you think you need an ambulance, or when you don't need an ambulance, or
so people, if you have, so if you want to send Bree a specific question when she comes on the show, put Bree in the email and I'll filter it out for her. Put in the subject or the
just put a subject heading like health or
and we'll
breezy Betty.
If you want to ask a paramedic about what to do in a certain situation, how to survive, she'll give her tips next time she comes on. But yeah, thanks everyone who's been listening and downloading this, if anyone actually does. Thanks Bree for coming on, being the first
pleasure.
Betty
Thank you.
on the show. You can you can send us a question and you can do it anonymously any way you want. We'll read it out.
Make sure you get the grammar right so that we're not laughing at you the entire time.
Yeah, that's right. If you do have funny grammar, we'll probably laugh about it, and I will not read it out very well.
I'm glad I'm not reading it because I'm just a spelling fanatic.
And sexual, I like that. So you can write in by writing it at jimmerish.fm@gmail.com and put Dear Betty in the subject line, and we will be able to filter it out like that from all the spam. And write in, and we'll have different Bettys every week, but we'll try and get Bree back as often as she'll come, and hopefully we'll have more than one Betty in future shows. But yeah,
maybe if you'd like to apply to be a Betty, you could send your resume in.
Yeah, but I don't want to have people that I don't know.
Have random people. No.
Yeah, unless it's like an interview.
Alrighty. Yeah, scrap that. We'll just delete that.
No, I mean it's all good ideas. That's
well, good luck to everyone who had problems with writing in today.
Yeah, thanks for those who wrote in. I hope I helped
a little bit, gave some insight.
Thanks. There's a couple there that I didn't get to, but we'll get that. We'll probably do if we have more Bettys, we'll have to do more questions probably, and probably have a longer show next time. But yeah, thanks for writing in. Don't forget the email address, jimmerish.fm@gmail.com, and say Dear Betty and give us a question. It could be, we're generally like relationship advice and all that kind of stuff, but it could be anything. It could be health issues, could be like Bree says, world issues. She wants to deal with some.
I don't know. I'd be very good at world issues. Health, relationships,
so you're just like
advice.
dobbing everyone in, and now we're going to get world issues questions.
Yeah,
and
if they asked me about the current economic climate, I would just say, look,
GFC.
I'm working hard to pay off my credit card, and then I'm going to go on holiday, and that's all I know. You know, it's all
and
just
she'll
about
stamp
my
the
little
table
world.
as much as possible to make it.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll work on my sound effects.
Things just went off the chart.
Oh, really? Sorry.
Yes.
Well, I've trashed the studio now. I'll go.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for listening. Don't forget the email address, and we'll hopefully see you next week. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
You can find the Jimmerish FM website at fm.jimmerish.com.